Have you ever been betrayed by your own brother, your very own flesh and blood? If you were in this situation, how would you confront the people involved? Would you seek revenge, forgiveness, or something else entirely? Imagine the shock, the heartache, and the whirlwind of emotions you'd feel, finding out that the people you trusted most have betrayed you in the most unimaginable way. This isn't just a story, it's a real-life dilemma that could happen to anyone. In today's video, we'll delve into the details of this heart-wrenching situation. How would you navigate such a betrayal? Would you seek revenge, look for understanding, or strive for forgiveness? Based on a horrifying and true story from a 26-year-old Reddit user, listen to his account of "I found my wife with my brother."
This all happened 7 hours ago. I haven't slept since. Here's my story. I'm military and live on a military installation. Me and my wife have been married just over 2 years. We just had a son and he is 3 months old. My wife has this terrible drinking problem. If she drinks liquor of any kind, she's like a demon. Like something is mentally wrong with her when she drinks. She's had this problem ever since we have gotten together. But over time, it has just gotten so much worse. She will break TVs, punch me, kick me, slap me, and then beat me again until she passes out on the floor and pisses herself.
Wow, that alone sounds like reason enough for our brother to leave his wife. Yes, I know it's terrible because he will also be leaving his 3-month-old son, but is that any way for him to live? And is he really being a good role model for his son, being with a drunken wife who physically abuses him? But wait, there's more.
One time she went to the neighbor's house around 2 a.m. and woke them up to try and make friends. They called the police on her. Just an example of the nightmare she becomes while drinking. I refused to buy her liquor, but occasionally if she could find a way to get liquor, she would. And there is no getting the bottle away from her. After I finished my first contract, we moved duty stations. I invited my brother to live with us and pay rent so that he could grow up and get out of my mother's house. I figured this would be the best way for him to learn responsibility. He is pretty much a loser, but he got a job and paid rent on time. I only made him pay half of what it cost him to live here so that he could save up enough to move out and start his own life. He's been with us for a year now. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, he got fired. He is also an alcoholic and has to drink himself to sleep because he has insomnia. The three of us usually got along pretty well. We would play board games, disc golf, and cook for each other. But she had recently been hanging out with him in his room every so often because he has liquor. I expressed the issues to both of them. I have threatened divorce if she kept drinking, and things were fine again after one especially bad drunken night. Last night, she had a bottle of cheap wine, which is usually fine. We were physically intimate, and then she took a bath at around 1 a.m. I fell asleep while she was there, only to wake up to my son screaming 2 hours later. I took care of him and put him to sleep. She was nowhere to be found. I walk into my brother's room and boom! There she is, in his arms and on his chest. I can't feel, I can't think, I can't breathe. I don't know what to do. I kicked my brother out without letting him grab anything. I told him to run, and he did. She won't stop crying. My son won't stop crying, and I'm in a world of pain.
Holy cow! This man really is hurting. First, his wife beats him regularly when she's drunk, which sounds often enough, and then she sleeps with his brother. Are we missing something here? Is there any reason why our brother shouldn't just get up and leave? Well, surprisingly, one Reddit user feels that there are other considerations our military brother should consider. He asks our military brother,
were they having full physical intimacy, or she was just lying there? Did they just finish having physical intimacy? Tell her and him you want the absolute truth no matter how bad it hurts you. How long has it been going on, and how far has it gotten? Is your brother back in your mom's house? Tell her what happened.
Gee, I don't know about if this should really make any difference or not, whether they completed the nasty or were interrupted by our military brother. And also, what's the point of telling their mom? What's he gonna do, whine, "Hey mom, guess what your other son did with my wife?" Is that really wise advice? I mean, what's she going to do? Ask for him to forgive his nasty brother? But can he really do that after betraying him? Another Reddit user advises him,
the first thing you need to do is get tested for STDs and then get a DNA test on your son. Hopefully for your sake, he is not yours, so you can get off of the birth certificate and kick her worthless butt to the curb. Also, complete no contact with your loser brother.
Well, that seems pretty straightforward and makes a lot of sense. Getting tested for STDs to protect his health and DNA to protect his wallet in a child support case does sound like a place to begin. He should protect himself at the very least, wouldn't you agree? But another Reddit user is not so fast to let our military brother off the hook. He observes,
Man, if you knew she was totally psycho if she had a drop of alcohol, why would you even marry a woman like this? And you had a child with her. No way you thought that a woman who can't stop drinking and acting crazy would be a good option to have around your kid. Military men always pick the worst women. Y'all should be taught from elementary school that falling in love with some girl from your city doesn't mean she's your true love and soulmate. They don't hang around 15 miles waiting for you. You decided to fall in love with her. Could have stopped at every red flag she showed you.
well, that Reddit advisor does have a good point. It was, after all, our military brother who chose this girl to marry, and he did stay with her, even though she was an abusive drunk and even had a kid with her. But have we no sympathy for him? The armchair advisor continues.
But let's not beat the dead horse. Take a DNA test to determine if you really are the father. You don't have a brother because for him to do this when you were helping his worthless self. Easily no contact till death. Wife crying? And what about your wife? Why's she crying? Divorce the witch. If the child is yours, document everything she's done while drunk and get a restraining order and get primary custody. Do not think that you should try to save your marriage because of a child. You will ruin your life and your child's, believe me. Let yourself grieve the death of your brother and your ex-wife. Then just let life and time do its thing. When you divorce her and have a healthy relationship in the future, you will be calling yourself an idiot for even thinking about staying with her.
Wow, why doesn't he say what's really on his mind? But you know, it's hard to disagree. Our military brother did, after all, choose to marry the psycho girl, and he did have a baby with her. But what should he do now to repair the rest of his life? What do you think he should do? Should he try to somehow get his wife into rehab and marriage counseling and try to save his family? And what about his baby son? Should he try to obtain custody? And should he rat out his ratty brother to his mom? What advice would you give our military brother? Please leave your advice and comments below, and let's see if we can help our military brother. And also, be sure to subscribe now to get early release to our next video release related to dating, relationships, and personal growth. You'll be glad you did. We thank you for joining us today, and as we bid you farewell, we remind you that you are absolutely fabulous. And yes, you are loved.